Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The world had changed overnight. Overnight, the laws that govern human rights, responsibilities, and even relationships had transformed. The government, under the guise of progress and unity, decreed that every human must host an alien girl. It was a mandate that sent shockwaves through society. Some viewed it as an opportunity for innovative relationships, while others saw it as an infringement on personal freedom. In a modest apartment in the bustling heart of the city, Samuel sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the notice that had arrived that morning. The notice felt more like a summons than a welcoming letter, outlining the new law in cold, unyielding text. Host an alien. Change your life, it stated. But all Samuel could think was, what now? Samuel was an average young man, 28, a digital marketer, and a lifelong city dweller. He was not particularly adventurous or outgoing, preferring the company of books and his loyal cat, Whiskers, to social gatherings. This sudden mandate sent his mind spinning into a whirlpool of anxiety and excitement. Would he be forced to share his personal space? Would he be paired with a creature from the far reaches of the galaxy? Before he could spiral deeper into his thoughts, a loud knock echoed through his apartment. "Samuel, you in there?" shouted his best friend, Jake. With a deep breath, he opened the door, revealing a whirlwind of energy in the form of Jake, who was practically vibrating with enthusiasm. "Dude, have you seen the news? This law is insane. We're like the next step in human evolution. Or the next mistake," Samuel muttered. But Jake didn't hear him. Instead, he barreled into the living room, pulling Samuel along behind him. "We have to celebrate. Get ready. They said the first arrivals will be here any minute," Jake exclaimed, clapping his hands together. "Finally, a chance to get some space exploration action." As they waited, Samuel couldn't shake the nervousness gnawing at his stomach. What if his alien host didn't like Earth? What if they didn't like him? The clock ticked on, growing louder with each passing minute. Finally, the sound of a soft hum filled the air, and a brilliant flash of light illuminated the room. From the dazzling light emerged a figure, delicate yet strong, shimmering like a mirage on a hot afternoon. Samuel could hardly believe his eyes. The alien girl was ethereal, with radiant skin that changed color in the light, large expressive eyes that seemed to hold the universe itself, and long, flowing hair that defied gravity. "Greetings, host," she said, her voice melodic and smooth. "I am Camila of the Erythian cluster." Heart racing, Samuel struggled to find his voice. Camila, I'm Samuel. Shall we begin our cultural exchange?" she asked, a bright smile spreading across her face. With that simple question, Samuel's world began to tilt into a new and unexpected direction. What had once felt like a nuisance had now turned into the promise of adventure, discovery, and, if his heart had anything to say about it, something far more intimate. The spark in Camila's eyes shone brighter in the soft glow of the apartment. Samuel felt both overwhelmed and enchanted. As she stepped into his home, the energy around them shifted, curiosity mingling with shyness in equal measure. "Cultural exchange," he repeated, the realization dawning on him that this was the beginning of a journey far beyond his imagination. "What exactly does that involve?" Camila tilted her head, her features transforming into a radiant display of hues. "We will learn from each other. I often hear of your Earth customs with great fascination. I've read about your art, music, and food so diverse. Tell me, what is a favorite human food?" Samuel chuckled nervously. "Well, I'm a pizza guy. Pizza is a classic." As soon as the words left his mouth, he realized how trivial they sounded compared to the vastness of the universe. "Pizza," Camila echoed, her alien tongue wrapping around the word. "I wish to try this pizza. Is it made from your terrestrial grains?" Yeah, I can order some. It'll blow your mind," he replied, growing more enthusiastic himself. As Samuel prepared to order, he couldn't help but glance at Camila, who was now observing the gallery of art prints on his walls. She examined each piece with an intense fascination, deeply immersed in the colors and shapes that seemed so mundane to him. "This one," she pointed, a vibrant landscape depicting a sunset over the ocean. "It holds warmth. It is beautiful beyond words." "Thanks," he said, a lump forming in his throat. Art is a big part of human expression. It tells our stories. As they waited for the pizza, a comfortable rhythm settled between them. Samuel relaxed. He felt captivated by her presence. His life, previously a well-organized routine of work and solitude, now burst with the vibrancy that came with hosting an alien. Just as Samuel handed Camila a slice of pizza, cheese oozing and crust perfectly baked, the doorbell rang again. This time, the sound was accompanied by a familiar buzz from the government app on Samuel's phone, announcing the arrival of another host. "Excuse me," he murmured, hurrying to answer the door. The second alien girl emerged in a glow of light similar to Camila's, but this one was a stark contrast to the first. While Camila emanated warmth, the new figure was cool, with a sharp elegance. The moment Samuel laid eyes on her, he noticed her distinctive features: ice blue skin, silver hair flowing like a cascade of moonlight, and eyes that glinted like stars in the night sky. "Hello, host. I am Nia of the Zephyr diaspora," she stated, her voice rich and melodic, but with an air of assertiveness that demanded attention. I'm Samuel," he replied, feeling a jolt of nerves anew as he glanced between the two alien girls standing in his apartment. "Two hosts? How curious," Nia said, observing Camila with a pointed gaze. A slight smile curled her lips, hinting at mischief or challenge. Yet Samuel felt a cautionary air surrounding her stance, like a predator sizing up its prey. "On Earth, we often share space," Camila interjected, her voice smooth and confident. "Samuel is my host." Nia turned her gaze back to Samuel. "You are fortunate. I heard the Erythians are particularly friendly. I hope you're prepared for their cultural quirks." "Quirks?" Samuel echoed, feeling the daunting shadow of being a human host envelop him. With his emotions swirling, anxiety, excitement, the thrill of companionship, he invited Nia in as he sensed the friendly rivalry beginning to take shape. The tension made for an interesting dynamic as they all gathered in his small living room, laughter and banter weaving a tapestry of connection and uncertainty. Samuel soon found himself a reluctant host to the two alien girls with contrasting personalities and interests, creating a space filled with potential for chaos, or perhaps even something more fulfilling. Camila, taking a bite from her slice of pizza, burst into laughter at Nia's stoic, analytical nature. "You have to try this, Nia. It's an experience." Samuel watched as Nia tentatively picked up a slice, inspecting its composition with skepticism before finally taking a bite. The moment she did, her expression softened and her eyes widened. "This is delightful. Humans truly have a fascinating way of creating food." Samuel felt a wave of relief wash over him as laughter bubbled amongst them. In that moment, the apprehension melted away, replaced by a sense of connection that he had only dreamed of. As they shared stories, laughter, and delicious pizza, Samuel realized that these two alien girls had already begun to change his life in ways he had never anticipated. The promise of adventure loomed on the horizon, and he couldn't help but wonder what other surprises awaited him in this new reality. As the evening wore on, the lingering aroma of pizza filled the room, mingling with laughter and excitement. Samuel glanced between Camila and Nia, noting their differences, yet appreciating the unique qualities each brought to the table. They were not just alien girls. They were beings from entirely different worlds, representing cultures he could barely begin to comprehend. "What is a typical day like for you, Samuel?" Camila inquired, a genuine curiosity dancing in her vibrant eyes. He scratched his head, pondering how to answer. "Well, I usually wake up early, work at my marketing job, grab some food, maybe hang out with friends, watch some shows, and then hit the sack. You know, pretty ordinary stuff." "Ordinary can be extraordinary if viewed from the right perspective," Nia said, her voice steady yet softening as she looked at him. "May I suggest a human tradition?" "Like what?" Samuel asked, intrigued. "Festivals. You celebrate many throughout the year, correct? What of your harvest festival? Music, food gatherings? Nia suggested with a glimmer of interest. Samuel's heart raced at the thought of sharing his culture. Oh, definitely. The harvest festival is a big deal. Families come together. There's a lot of food, music, and sometimes dancing. Dancing? Camila perked up, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I have seen imagery of this. It involves rhythm and movement. Yeah, you could say it's a release of energy, a way to express joy. He replied eagerly, driven by their interest. I could teach you some dances. It'd be fun. Nia raised an eyebrow, but nodded. I am curious to see if your movements resemble those of our Xiphorian celebrations. Samuel's heart swelled. The prospect of teaching them about his culture while learning about theirs fueled his enthusiasm. All right, let's do it. But first, how about you tell me about your worlds? An excellent exchange. Camila chimed in, her hair shifting colors like a gentle sunset. I'll go first. In the Erythian cluster, we live in a society that emphasizes harmony with nature. Everything balances. We communicate through colors, and our emotions manifest visually. That's how my skin changes, she explained, her form shimmering as she spoke. He watched her in awe, imagining a world where feelings painted the skies. That sounds incredible. Do you have music? Of course. Our music resonates like the hum of the cosmos, etheric melodies that connect all of us, Camila said, her voice laced with longing. Sometimes, we can hear the stars sing. William imagined floating amongst the stars, a far-off dream ignited within him. And what about you, Nia? Nia cleared her throat. In the Xipher diaspora, we value intellect and ambition. Our society thrives on knowledge, exploration, and a superior grasp of science. We believe we can achieve anything through learning. Every Xiphorian dreams of expanding the boundaries of what is known. Wow, that sounds really intense, Samuel replied, noting the determined gleam in her eyes. What kind of scientific breakthroughs have you made? She leaned forward, excitedly recounting their advances in interstellar travel and telepathy, making Samuel feel as if he were peering into an uncharted territory of potential. Despite their vastly different worlds, Samuel felt a kinship growing, one that transcended culture and language. They were all here, together, navigating the same uncharted waters of connection and belonging. As the night wore on, with laughter echoing through the apartment walls, Samuel suggested a dance lesson. Standing awkwardly in his living room, he played a lively track that set the stage for their cultural exchange. All right, let's begin, he exclaimed, motioning for them to join him as he demonstrated simple two-step moves. Camila followed eagerly, her movements fluid, her laughter infectious. Nia, with her precision and grace, attempted to mirror Samuel's steps, albeit with a calculated and analytical approach. Feel the rhythm, Nia. It's about letting go, Samuel encouraged, trying to lighten her seriousness. After a few clumsy attempts, they lost themselves in laughter, the barriers of their differences slowly crumbling. Camila twirled, almost flying, her hair flowing like liquid silver under the soft glow of the apartment lights. See, this is joy, she exclaimed, the colors of her skin shifting to bright pastels as she reveled in the moment. Samuel couldn't help but smile, the warmth of connection wrapping around him. Watching Camila's delight and Nia's growing acceptance of the carefree spirit of dance, he knew they were starting to bond, a bond that could redefine their understanding of partnership. As the song faded, Samuel turned to both of them, exhilarated from the experience. This is just the beginning. There are so many more traditions we can explore together. Indeed, Nia said, her blue skin glowing faintly with excitement. I look forward to deepening our knowledge of one another. We can create a new tradition, one that blends our cultures. Camila added, a radiant smile lighting up her face. Samuel felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. Not only were they breaking through cultural barriers, but they were also building a bridge, a friendship uniting worlds that had seemed so distant. Under the twinkling lights of his apartment, Samuel realized that this new chapter of his life had begun with more than mere obligation. It had evolved into a wondrous journey filled with discovery, joy, and the promise of deeper connections. As the days turned into weeks, Samuel settled into an unexpected routine with Camila and Nia. Morning rituals filled with laughter and cultural lessons filled the air as the three navigated their new life together. Cookouts of Earth food transformed into culinary exchanges, featuring Earthian fruit dishes and Zyphorian herbs, while evenings shimmered with music and dance from both worlds. At times, Samuel felt as if he was living in a dream, an extraordinary dream surrounded by two remarkable alien girls. However, as the initial excitement began to fade, the surface of their newfound camaraderie began to reveal subtle fractures. Small tensions that would arise from time to time began to bubble just below the surface. And with those tensions came the ever-looming societal implications of having two alien hosts in his home. One afternoon, Samuel attempted to broach the subject. They had gathered around the kitchen table, stained with remnants of a vibrant meal they created together. As they cleaned up, Samuel could sense the undercurrents of jealousy between the two girls. "Hey, I know this has been an adjustment for all of us," he said, trying to lighten the mood. "But I think we should talk about how we're feeling. Unity is key, right?" Camila's vibrant colors flickered with uncertainty. "You mean about our environments? I have been struggling with how different everything is. The sheer chaos of it confuses my senses. And I am still adapting to your Earth customs," Nia added, her piercing gaze directed at Samuel. "But I believe a deeper issue lies beneath our bond, a thread of competition." Samuel's heart sank at her words. "Competition? What do you mean?" Nia's expression hardened. "It is clear that our ways of expressing affection differ. I am used to showcasing my intellect. Camila dazzles with emotion. How do you perceive each of us, Samuel? Am I merely the cold one?" "No, that's not it at all," Samuel interjected, his voice rising as he felt the weight of their expectations. "You're both amazing in your own ways. But you do favor Camila," Nia spoke. "She evokes warmth through her colors and laughter, while I am left to analyze and strategize. Rarely do you peer into my depths as you do hers." Samuel stood, running his fingers through his hair. "That's not true. It's just different. I value both of you for who you are. I see the beauty in each of your worlds. I feel," Camila began, but Nia interrupted her with a sharp glare. "I, too, feel left out. Your penchant for warmth and intimacy blinds you," Nia said, but the rigidity in her tone was softening. "I just want us to have a chance to get to know each other," Samuel pleaded. "Let's not create rifts between us." Silence thickened the air, each girl lost in her thoughts, Samuel feeling the weight of their expectations settle like a heavy cloak. "Then we must establish boundaries," Nia suggested, folding her arms. "Guidelines to prevent clashes of interest." "Such as?" Samuel asked, trying to redirect the conversation back to a productive space. "Decide how much time is allocated to each, based on interests," Nia suggested, her posture diplomatic yet firm. "An hour for you to explore the Earthian customs with Camila, and then another hour for education concerning Zyphorian advancements with me." Samuel tilted his head, unsure where this was going. "That could work, but I don't want it to feel like a business schedule. I want us to enjoy one another's company, without competition looming overhead." "We are open-minded," Camila interjected, her voice soothing. "Let us see if this brings us closer." As the tension hung in the air, Samuel felt a strange mixture of relief and trepidation. He recoiled at the idea of compartmentalizing their time together, yet he understood their feelings. Perhaps a structure would lead to clarity, a clearer understanding of each other's hearts. But would it really eliminate the growing rivalry beneath the surface? Days passed, and as new patterns formed, the girls began competing for Samuel's attention in subtle, annoying ways. Camila would surprise him with Earth-inspired meals, while Nia would flood his mind with questions on Zyphorian philosophy, each attempting to lure Samuel towards their specialty. Their competitiveness leaned toward an unintended game of strings. Each moment felt charged with tension, a tightrope balancing on a thread of affection and rivalry. One evening, Samuel sat down with a book about human mythology. ready to unwind after a long day of work. The quiet comfort of solitude was quickly interrupted by a clash of voices echoing from the kitchen. "I can show him the stars and the rhythms of the cosmos," Camila exclaimed, shimmering shades of purple radiating from her skin with excitement. "No, Samuel should learn about the vast potential our species can achieve through knowledge, not mere customs," Nia countered, her voice sharp with determination. Samuel felt frustration rise within him. Impulsively, he stood and shouted, "Stop! This isn't a competition between you two. I value what you both bring to my life, but I can't take the tension anymore." His words hung in the air like a storm cloud, both girls staring at him with wide eyes. The confusion on their faces made his heart ache, and he wished desperately for unity. "Maybe we need to set aside time for open communication," Samuel suggested, hoping to quell the brewing storm. "A safe space where we can express how we feel without judgment." "I agree," Camila said slowly, her colors settling into a soft lavender hue. "I miss the joy we had before this began." Nia nodded, but her expression remained guarded. "Communication will help then. Let us try." Samuel took a deep breath, thinking of how to move forward. Amidst the chaos of emotions swirling, he glimpsed the potential for resilience. If they could navigate this, perhaps the bonds that formed through their struggles could build something stronger than he ever anticipated. With newfound determination, Samuel took a step toward building a harmonious environment, understanding that navigating differences would demand patience and openness, but the reward would be a profound connection unlike any he had ever known. Days rolled into a comforting rhythm as Samuel, Camila, and Nia took tentative steps toward understanding one another again. The discussions that took place during their safe space meetings allowed them to express their feelings and worries, slowly knitting together the frayed edges of their companionship. One evening, as they lounged on the couch after a long day, Samuel found himself drawn into a conversation he had been avoiding. He looked at the two alien girls who were both engrossed in the latest Earth sci-fi movie, their faces illuminated by the glow of the screen. "Hey," he began hesitantly. "Can we talk about, the concept of mating?" Instant silence enveloped the room, both Camila and Nia pausing the film, their eyes locking onto him with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. "Mating?" Camila echoed, her skin shifting to a shimmer of worried shades, pinks and soft oranges. "Yes," Samuel continued, his voice steady despite the tension. "I mean, with the law in place and how we've talked about our cultures. I think it's an important topic. Mating is such a significant part of relationships, right?" Nia leaned forward, her icy blue hues brimming with emotion. "Indeed, it governs our connections deeply, especially in societies like mine where intellect and partnership are highly valued." "I'd like to hear what it means in both your cultures," Samuel said, determined to understand. "Camila, how does mating work among your people?" Camila's colors shifted softly again, reflecting the nest of emotions swirling within her. In the Erythian cluster, mating is about unity and harmony. It celebrates our emotions, our colors intertwine during the process, and we share in each other's energies. It is a beautiful expression of love and companionship, with each partner feeding off the vibrancy of the other's presence. The imagery of such a colorful and intimate experience made Samuel's heart race, stirring a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "And what about you, Nia?" Nia spoke with an articulate precision, the corners of her lips slightly curling as she did. In the Zephyr diaspora, mating centers around compatibility and mutual growth. We analyze compatibility aspects, share knowledge, and eventually merge our essences through telepathy, creating an intimate bond that deepens our understanding. It's less about emotion and more about the union of minds. As he pondered their words, Samuel felt the gravity of their cultures bearing down upon him. He understood that, although their approaches were vastly different, both held tremendous value. What if he could experience both? What if, he began, a thought igniting in his mind, we could create our own understanding of mating, as a blend of our cultures? Surprise flickered on both their faces, Camila's skin glowing a bright green as she absorbed his proposal. That would involve a significant exchange of trust and vulnerability. I agree, Nia added, her voice steady yet inviting. If we embark on this journey, the bond would need to flourish in a manner that honors us each. Samuel nodded, excitement bubbling within him. I'd like to understand how our worlds can come together. I want to connect with both of you on a deeper level. Then we must prepare for a mating ritual that respects our differences while highlighting our bond, Camilla suggested, her eyes gleaming with an enticement that sent shivers down Samuel's spine. Nia tilted her head, contemplating the idea. It would involve elements from both cultures, a shared experience that encapsulates joy, intellect, and emotion. Perhaps we could create an environment that reflects each of our worlds. Samuel felt a rush of enthusiasm. Let's plan this together. We can be creative about how it unfolds, marrying our unique customs and the feelings we share. For the next few days, they fueled their preparations, discussing ritual elements while drawing ideas from their cultures. Camilla suggested a meditative space that mimicked the ethereal sunsets of her region, while Nia proposed sharing knowledge through storytelling, blending ancient Earth tales with the science of the Zyphorians. On the night of the ritual, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Samuel decorated the living room with candles, soft fabrics in sunset hues, and orbs of light that sparkled like stars. The smell of incense filled the air, soothing yet invigorating. As they gathered, the air vibrated with an energy he could feel skin deep. They sat in a circle, releasing their expectations and opening their hearts. Samuel looked at both girls, nerves racing through him. Whatever happens tonight, I want it to be genuine. Let's embrace each other in our truest forms. Agreed, Camilla said, radiating warmth, her colors shifting to a soothing blue that mirrored her intent. Nia nodded, her icy exterior beginning to thaw. Yes, let us take this step carefully and intentionally. As they began the ritual, they shared stories of their lives, speaking their truths and revealing vulnerabilities. Their voices intertwined, while colors danced around them, filling the space with an array of brilliance. Then, as their hearts began to open, they reached a point where touch became inevitable, an exploration of tenderness that drew them closer. Samuel felt warmth envelop him as Camilla's shimmering hands reached for his, the connection electrifying yet comforting. Nia soon found her way into their embrace, adding layers to their bond. Together, they began to intertwine their forms, exploring the territory where emotions, intellect, and intimacy merged. With each gentle caress, they savored the tastes of another world, the mingling of their energies creating a unique mix that deepened with every heartbeat. Samuel felt alive, a sense of belonging rushing through him. All that they were becoming together felt monumental. In that pivotal moment, Samuel understood that they were forging a new path, one that interwove the fabric of their different cultures, beliefs, and identities into something exquisitely beautiful. And as they danced through the vibrancy of their collective strengths, he realized they were no longer just separate beings. They were evolving into one. As the evening progressed, Samuel, Camilla, and Nia continued to explore the depths of their emotional and physical connection. Their bodies intertwined, each caress revealing layers of intimacy that transcended the boundaries of their individual cultures. Laughter and whispers filled the space, harmonizing with the soft glow of flickering candlelight. Together, we create something entirely new, Samuel said, feeling the warmth radiate from their combined energies. Camilla smiled, her colors dancing brilliantly in response. This is union at its finest, emotion and intellect in harmony, an Erythian delight. Nia glanced at them, her blue hues shifting to softer shades, reflective of acceptance and warmth. To merge our worlds signifies endless possibilities. We are explorers of love, transcending what we once knew. With their feelings melding in the air, they engaged in a deeper exploration of their bond. Each moment spent in this collective embrace unveiled more profound truths about themselves, their pasts, and their aspirations for the future. A sense of peace washed over Samuel, a feeling of belonging he thought was only reserved for fantasy. Eventually, as the ritual drew to a close, They pulled apart, breaths heavy with exhaustion but hearts bursting with satisfaction. Samuel gazed at the two alien girls and felt an overwhelming gratitude swelling within him. "Thank you both for sharing this moment with me," he said softly. "I've learned so much more than I ever imagined." "Equality in understanding and intimacy," Nia replied, her voice steady yet tender. "We have built a foundation." Camila nodded, her vibrant colors oscillating. "A foundation that goes beyond what any one of us could have achieved alone." The feelings of connection lingered in the air as they cuddled together on the couch. The dynamics had shifted not only between the three of them, but also within themselves. They began to envision a life where their bond could enhance their experiences, a shared journey ahead, navigating the complexities of their intertwined destinies. As they spoke about their future, ideas began to form about integrating their lives. Samuel expressed his desire to travel to both of their worlds and understand more about their cultures, promising to take Camila and Nia to places they had only dreamt of visiting. They discussed incorporating elements from both cultures into their everyday lives, blending Erythian and Zyphorian customs, creating art, food, and celebration. Each dream painted vivid images of what was to come, and Samuel could hardly contain his excitement. "Imagine the festivals we can create together," he said, buoyed by visions of a bright future. "Spaces filled with color, rhythm, knowledge, an exchange of our worlds." "That could be the first festival in our new legacy," Camila enthused, her excitement palpable. "It will blend the essence of Erythians and Zyphorians and the humans who surround us." As they envisioned the future, Samuel felt a sense of purpose settling within him. They could become ambassadors for intertwining cultures, bridging gaps between worlds and inspiring others to see beauty in differences. Each day following the ritual was filled with new experiences as Samuel, Camila, and Nia explored life together. They embraced cultural exchanges, collaborated on projects, and educated each other on customs that painted their backgrounds. The initial competition that plagued their relationship had transformed into a spirited collaboration, each of them holding an essential part of the tapestry they were weaving. Months passed in a blur of laughter, warmth, and breathtaking discoveries. Together, Samuel, Camila, and Nia not only celebrated their differences, but cultivated a profound love that defied galactic divides. One sunny afternoon, Samuel stood in front of a gathering crowd at a cultural festival they had organized. People from all backgrounds came to join, curious humans eager to learn and experience the wonders of alien cultures. Camila and Nia stood beside him, radiant in their alien attire, their spirits high. "Welcome," Samuel called, excitement coursing through him. "Today, we celebrate our differences, our similarities, and the beauty of connection. Together, we can create a world where love knows no bounds." The crowd cheered, and Samuel could feel the energy pulsating around them. As Camila and Nia began to demonstrate a hybrid of their sacred dances and rhythms, Samuel watched in awe as their bodies moved in harmony. The audiences captivated by the blend of elegance and vitality. With every twirl and leap, they painted a picture of unity that resonated with everyone present, an acceptance of love that stretched beyond cultures, transforming fear into joy. People began to join in, and Samuel's heart swelled with pride. As they danced, he took a moment to reflect on how far they'd come, from the uncertainty of initial introductions to this moment of profound bond that spanned worlds. Later, as they mingled with attendees, sharing stories and customs, Samuel felt fulfilled and grounded. The journey had blossomed into something far greater than he had ever anticipated. Looking at Camila and Nia, he took their hands, feeling the warmth radiating from their beings. "Thank you for being part of this with me," he said, sincerity radiating from his voice. "You have changed my life in more ways than I can express." Camila beamed, warmth cascading across her skin. "We are a unity of worlds. Together, we are strong." Nia, ever the pillar of intellect, nodded in affirmation. "Our bond allows for growth. We reflect the beauty of understanding." As the sun set, painting the sky with the colors of their flourishing connection, Samuel felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The journey was merely beginning, filled with potential, passion, and an unwavering belief in the power of love. With two remarkable alien girls by his side, Samuel had not only hosted them into his life, but welcomed them into his heart. Together, they would venture into a future where differences were celebrated, cultures blended, and love became the universal language connecting all beings.